Fault tolerance. Fault tolerance is the main characteristics of cloud computing. The cloud vendors always to make sure that there is no fault tolerance in their architectures or in their vendor. The ability to remain up and running even in the event of a component or service no longer functioning. Imagine some disk is failed at your data center. What will happen? Your business may be impacted. But what cloud vendors will do is they will make sure that this data is replicated in some other server, so that even though if this server is failing, it will get data from the backup server or a replicated server. That's what fault tolerance in cloud computing they will achieve. So for that we have an architecture called regions. Under that there is availability zones. Under that there is data centers which are isolated, but they are interconnected to each other. So one data is backed in other, so that it will be available to you, even though if there is a failure, it will be available to you always. Typically redundancy is built into cloud service architecture. So if one component fails, a backend component takes its place. That's what we had discussed now. The type of service is said to be a tolerant of faults. So basically what it does mean, even though there is a component failure, from backup it has to recover and give it to you. That's what the fault tolerance means. And the next one is disaster recovery. The ability to recover from the event which has taken down a cloud service. And cloud service disaster can happen very quickly with automation and service being readily available to use. What does it mean is, even though if one data center, whole data center failed, but it will get recovered by using other data center. That's what it was architecture. So if you see, there is one component called availability zones. In availability zones, we have 3 or more data centers. So even if one data center at one place it failed, it will always make sure that it will get data from the other data center. That's what the disaster recovery means. So the next one will be the global reach. You can able to reach your audience across the globe. So even if you provision your any application over one location, you can have a chance to reach your application to other geographical locations also. This is what the global reach means. So there is certain architecture, global infrastructure, like they have a regions and they have an edge locations and they have an content delivery network. By making use of those services, they will make sure that your application is available in all the geographical locations. That's what the global reach means. And the customer latency capabilities, which is nothing but they will deploy all the resource very near to your geographical location, so that whenever you want to access particular application, the latency is very less. So if customer are experiencing slowness with a particular cloud service, they are said to experience some latency. This is what latency means. Whenever you are trying to access an application, you may feel some slowness in the application, and sometimes the server will be also out. This many times will happen. So even though there is modern fiber optics are fast, it can take some time for a service to reach the customer actions. If the services is not local to customer, cloud service have a ability to deploy that resource in a data centers around the globe, thus addressing customer latency issues are low. So like whenever they are using the content delivery network or an edge locations or some other cloud front like this, there are certain services. If they are using this type of service, and make sure that the latency is very low. So that whenever customer want to access it, he can easily access it. Very fast. So when we go to Azure services or AWS services, you will come to know what is this latency means. So I tried to give my maximum knowledge what I have, like what is cloud computing and what are the terms that we use in the cloud computing. And this is the Azure portal, and I am referring the material, and what is cloud computing and all they had referred here, and you can see it over here. And what are the benefits of cloud computing, what are the types of cloud computing, various cloud services that are available. That all information will be available. I will keep this URL in the description so that you can refer. And the terms that we had used, like what is elasticity, what is scalability, and all those terms that will be available over here. and you can refer this also. I will keep both URLs in the description section. I hope it helps you. Thank you.